Your system must be so fragile if it could be toppled down by a few poisoned berries. And those were the lines, the memorable lines of Katniss Everdeen in one of the Mockingjay movie, one of the best one-liners in the Hunger Games series. And she said it straight to the face of the evil oh my gosh, I don't know if I could say his name right. Coriolanus Snow. And so now I'd like to give you guys my movie reaction to the prequel to all the series of the Hunger Games. And the name of this current movie that is being shown right now is called The Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes. So this takes place many years before the story of all the Hunger Games movie. This is a story of before President Snow became president, and when he was only 18 years old, by the way. So let me read to you a little bit of the synopsis. So, years before he becomes the tyrannical president of Panem, 18-year-old Coriolanus Snow remains the last hope for his fading lineage. With the 10th annual Hunger Games fast approaching, the young Snow becomes alarmed when he's assigned to mentor Lucy Gray Baird from District 12. Uniting their instincts of showmanship and political savvy, they race against time to ultimately reveal who's a songbird and who's a snake. So this is the story, and to me it was such a heart-wrenching drama. It really broke my heart to see this young ambition guy, 18-year-old man, who was filled with so much hope and so much kindness in his heart. And he was even he even had a lot of empathy and sympathy towards the poor people that were struggling in all those districts. And for all of you who've seen the Hunger Games movie, you guys know what I'm talking about, the districts. Like, they were all poor and they were all hungry, and every time that there would be a Hunger Game, they would pick tributes from each district, and whoever won, that meant that they won't go starving for a year. So let me now show you the cast members, the amazing cast members of this movie. So Rachel Zegler played Lucy Gray Baird. She's like, I would not say the great grandmother of Katniss Everdeen, although she's related to that family. And Tom Blythe plays the 18-year-old President Snow, or Coriolanus Snow. And then Hunter Schafer plays the sister. Peter Dinklage, you guys know who Peter Dinklage is. I mean, he was from the Game of Thrones, and he was also in the Game of Thrones and the X-Men movies. And Viola Davis was such an amazing actress in this movie. She played the sinister doctor. It's so evil. Volumnia Gold and Ken Brochid. Oh, the names are getting harder and harder. And the list goes on and on and on and on and on and on. And I just want to tell you guys that I super highly recommend that you watch this at the IMAX theater to be so overwhelmed And to be honest with you guys, when I saw this movie, it felt like I was watching three different movies. If it weren't for the main characters going from one scene to the other, it just felt like three different movies. So from the beginning of this movie to the middle part, it was, well, the first part of the movie was a little bit slow paced, and then picks up in the middle, and it becomes super super fast paced. The violence in this movie had a lot of savagery in it, that I believe that it was even more, surprisingly, just a little bit more violent than the other Hunger Games movie. I was kind of surprised, because I know that this is supposed to be, Hunger Games is supposed to be a violent movie, but they kind of withheld it from the original four movies that came out many years ago. And what can I say? It's just amazing, and I love the way it transitioned. It didn't feel contrived. The natural progression of Coriolanus Snow from being a kind-hearted man to becoming an evil person, of course, didn't happen overnight. It happened really fast. It happened fast, but it made a lot of sense as to why he turned from good to evil. And there was some kind of a heartbreaking melting point that took place, which I'm not gonna spoil it for you, because I really want you to go out there and see this movie. Please watch it at the IMAX, I beg of you. If you live here in Vegas, there are $5 Mondays at the Palms Brendan Theater. Brendan at the Palms Theater, you guys should actually sponsor me, because I keep on mentioning the name of your theater every single freaking week. the, to me, it's like the only IMAX theater in town. So anyhow, going back to Viola Davis, who seemed like the evil mentor and the evil manipulator behind Snow's degradation. Viola Davis is such an Academy winning actress that she did an amazing and phenomenal, spectacular job, and I know that she had a lot of fun with this character, and she ran with it. You could see that she relished every moment of being like so evil in this role. And so this movie, when it ended, I actually didn't, story wise, I didn't take it at its face value, because I knew that the whole thing was manipulated by the Dr. Volumnia goal. If you take it at its face value, it seems like another person is to blame, but it really isn't. There is a larger monster behind the scene, or not behind the scene, but in this movie at the social media shows. I'm gonna tag you, Carmen. So I really remembered Carmen, and I was saying to myself, this is a movie that Carmen might want to see, because there was a few parts that Rachel Zegler sang, and she did an amazing job in singing. She had a beautiful voice, and I believe that it was perfectly interwoven in this movie. So there you have it, ladies and gentlemen, and that was the first segment of my movie reaction to the Hunger Games called The Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes. And I will be back with some more. In the meantime, we will be going on a commercial break. So don't go away.
Traditional TV is going away. Hollywood is starting to fade. People are demanding real stories from real people. Our voices are now being heard in our own way. Podcasts, Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, and TikTok Live are becoming the norm. Internet TV has now reached the highest demand in human history. Social media shows is now the new media of the century.
Now on digital and DVD.
Hit it.
Space Wars Quest for the Deep Star is an epic sci-fi adventure.
Do what needs to be done.
An edge-of-your-seat wild ride.
We have company.
Tons of popcorn-munching fun. 5 stars. A love letter to the sci-fi films of the 70s and 80s. With plenty of action and fun for all. You need to see it. You really do.
The captain just decided it's time to go.
I am ready for a sequel. Experience a bold new adventure. Space Wars Quest for the Deep Star.
A good old-fashioned adventure.
Now on digital and DVD. Now on digital and DVD.
Welcome back to the last segment of Spotlight, and I am JC Crisologo. I believe I forgot to introduce myself during the first segment. I'm JC Crisologo, and I would like to give a shout out to all the precious people that are watching, and I'd like to give a shout out to Athena, my niece in the Philippines, who was surprised that I love K-pop music. Yes, my child, the Korean music is very famous here in the US. A lot of young girls, most especially, go for the K-pop boy bands and the girl bands as well. And hello to Popit, and hello to Ellen and Eva Marie Malyari and the little doggy Sophia Meatballs. Hello to everyone that's watching, friends, loved ones, everyone that's watching. And I hope you guys are doing well. So, okay, now, if you have missed the first segment, I am doing my movie reaction to the recent Hunger Games movie, which is a prequel, not a sequel, a prequel. And it's entitled The Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes. I know it's a little bit of a long title. So it's a story of the evil Coriolanus Snow and how he became evil, you know, because obviously in all the other movies he's considered an a-hole and a douchebag, but in this movie he wasn't a douchebag yet. He was a good guy. He was a very kind-hearted guy that you will really fall for, which was played beautifully by the young Tom Blythe. And I was surprised to know that Tom Blythe doesn't have white hair. Apparently, they dyed his hair, they colored his hair white in this film, you know, to kind of look like the older version of him, which was marvelously played by Donald Sutherland in all the other Hunger Games movie, as you can see in the pictures. Young Coriolanus, old Coriolanus, or senior Coriolanus. Yes. And so I just love how he transitioned from good to evil, and as a matter of fact, not only good to evil, but he also became treacherous. And you're going to be wondering why he became so powerful and how he got all that wealth to be in his status. Well, he had a friend in Sejanus Plinth is his best friend, and it was played by Josh Andres. And anyhow, he had the best friend, Sejanus, had a major role in how Coriolanus becomes really wealthy at the end of the movie. I'm not gonna show you or reveal to you how he got wealthy, but it's got something to do with the best friend, who was, by the way, some sort of a vigilante, and the best friend was, very, he had so much empathy for the people living in the district and their plight. And so, yeah, I mean, this movie is so heartbreaking that when the time came when you hear Donald Sutherland's voice, you never see him in this movie, but you just hear his voice in the end. And this isn't a spoilers alert, because you will hear him in the trailers too. And when he says, it's the ones that we love that destroy us the most. And those lines really weigh heavy, and like, listen to those lines and read between those lines, because that is what broke him. That is what broke Coriolanus. And a little bit of spoilers alert, just not too much. I love the line when Coriolanus finally says in the end, and it'll make a lot of sense if you watch it, snow falls on top. And when he said that, I was like, oh no, he did not just say that. He did not just say that. And anyhow, I hope you go out there to watch this film. As you can see, I even dressed for the part. I said I wanted to be a little bit of a Hunger Games right now, and pay a little tribute to the fashion of the Hunger Games. And also, before I forget, oh my gosh, I almost forgot. So remember, in the movie, there's a guy named Lucky, and he was the presenter, and he was always with that flamboyant lady who was like, fabulously dressed. So that guy in the original Hunger Games movie was played by Stanley Tucci. In this movie, he's played by a younger version called Jason Schwartzman. And they did a phenomenal job of making him look like Stanley Tucci in the Hunger Games. But there's no CGI, no nothing. It was just pure makeup, and that kudos to the production team for making him look exactly like Lucky. Lucretius is his name. And yes, the only one that I'm missing is the crazy lady, the crazy fashionable lady. Now I have to see her name. Just give me one moment. Let me see her name. I'm not gonna be able to sleep tonight, if I'm not gonna know her name. So bear with me for a moment. And here we go. Oh yes, The fashionable lady that I'm talking about is no other than Effie Trinket. To me, because I since obviously, I love fashion, Effie Trinket was the one who carried the Hunger Games movie. Most especially the first two ones. Because Effie was always fashionable and she would come out with her stylish and flamboyant outfit with the big hats, the butterfly dresses, and everything. And also, my favorite line from Effie Trinket in that movie is manners. When she said it to Katniss Everdeen when Katniss lost her manners. So, anyhow, and that is my movie reaction for The Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes. And I hope you go out to see it. And let me leave you now with my new tagline. And my new tagline is remember, if you go out there and you are rejected and people say no to you, it shouldn't be a word of discouragement, but for you to better yourself, to hone your skills and perfect your craft, and then go at it again and try again. Try and try until you succeed. And those are my last words for today. And see you next time. My name is JC Crisologo. I love you guys. Chowder.